What's up, Potomians? I am Gooonicorn and welcome back to my channel. You already know what we are here to do. We are here to talk about the epic Season 5 finale of Real Housewives of Potomac. But before we get started, let me remember to beg y'all to subscribe to my channel, y'all, because y'all be out here embarrassing me in front of my coworkers in my imaginary lunchroom. Bitch, they be sitting there talking about me. I walk into the lunchroom to heat up my little easy Mac. And, you know, they be up in there snickering, kiki, cat, 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 cat.
Smiling in my face, laughing, cackling, cat, cat, he, he.
And I just be having, you know, go in, warm my food up, and they be talking about me because y'all be watching my videos and not subscribing. So here we are. Subscribe, ho. But anyway, now that we got that out of the way, subscribe, like, share, comment, boom, 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 boom. Now on to the meat and the Potomac potatoes of the situation. Monique goes to therapy. She lets her therapist know about her childhood and how she grew up in a predominantly white school. She went to school with predominantly white kids, and she said how that was a traumatic experience for her because they was calling her niggers and, you know, I'm sure doing all the little evil, weird white shit that weird white ass kids do, coming up talking to her about fucking rap and trying to touch her hair and probably, you know, saying like, oh, Monique can get in the sun because she's black. We have to use sunscreen.
Girlfriend, holler, holler.
Sorry, girlfriend.
He could get it.
You know, just saying like little weird dumbass shit like that. And then she recounts how she went to an all black school or a predominantly black school, and the black kids kind of ostracized her because she spoke properly and she was smart and all of this other kind of stuff. And okay, the biggest thing about this that is kind of like triggering to me is that little portion, because let me take a swig. The thing that annoys me sometimes about black people who are whitewashed, and we're just gonna call things as they are on this channel. Please don't expect for me to sugarcoat, but I am going to try to lay my feelings down on the line in a way that everybody can understand why I kind of get annoyed with black people who recount it like that, where they're almost the victim of black people not accepting them because they were smart, and then they always frame it as like, I was smarter than them and I spoke better than them and they couldn't relate to me. Like, and that's how she said it. So when I heard that, I was just like, I was immediately ticked off. And it's like, here's the thing. White people in this country, they set the standard when it comes to the way that we walk, talk, dress, act, and present ourselves in mainstream society. When we go to get a job, we know that we have to go in there and speak like this. Yes, hi, my name is Goonicorn, and I'm here to apply for IKEA. I love to sell furniture. Furniture is just the best. I love everything from oak wood to cherry wood, and I love to assemble it all on my own. I love to do, like, you know, speaking very like that, and you have to pronounce all of your letters, and you have to do this because that is speaking properly. The word proper to me almost kind of implies that this is the way that you should be speaking, and any way that deviates from this standard way of speaking is now improper, or like white people like to say, ghetto, or now the girls love to call us ratchet if we speak any other way than properly. Black people we are just naturally cool. Everything about us, everything that we do, and the way we walk, talk, dress, and style ourselves, present ourselves in society, everything that we do is cool. So when we lose that cool factor and, you know, we are whitewashed, and then you're in a space full of black people who just naturally have that gift of being cool and not necessarily sticking to the standard. And let's be very clear that what we do is cool, and white people just, for whatever the reason is, they hate it because they can't attain it. They have this weak, whack, boring sense of style and walking and talking and dressing and acting, and we come over and do something that's exciting and different. That even the way that we express ourselves and emote and the way that we do our hand gestures and our neck and the way we talk and the way we just are. Like, we just cool as fuck, and white people hate it. They do. That self-hatred, they instill that self-hatred into us, because then we have to teach our kids, like, okay, it's cool for us to speak like this when we are this way, but when you get on that phone, when somebody's calling you for an interview, you make sure you switch it up like this. You take your voice up a higher octave, and you make sure you pronounce all of your letters, and you make sure you say yes sir, no ma'am, and very much like that. And as soon as you get off the phone, it's, bitch, let me tell you, girl, very much all that. And some people may argue time and place for everything, but I would also counter that argument with, that only applies to Black people. And you have to understand that what we do is just cool, and we aren't allowed to really be that way in the mainstream because they ain't got it. So I'm kind of going on a tangent here, but I'm just trying to vocalize to you that, like, I want Black people to choose their words very carefully when they're recounting their experiences as a child and how they felt, and make sure that they take not accountability, because it's definitely not their fault that they had to experience that or whatever, but I also want some ownership of, like, I didn't have that cool factor that the rest of the Black people had. I didn't have that shit because I went to an all-white school where they whitewashed me down. And I wish Black people would say that. I wish I did grow up in a predominantly Black neighborhood so I could relate to my people more. That's what I really think it is the fact that y'all cannot relate, and y'all feel like the way that I speak and the way that I act, I get to call myself better than, and I get to say I'm smarter and whatever, and I also hate that shit too, because, like, don't act like all Black schools don't got a motherfucking, what is that shit called? ASB. Yeah, child. I was not one of the, listen, I'm arguing for somebody else's choir, not mine, because, girl, me in school was never the girls. Like, I hated school. But we definitely had valedictorians and salutatorians. We had straight A students. We had smart people, and that is the crowd that you wanted to be in. You could have found it at a Black school as well. So don't sit here and try to act like everybody at school was just up to no good and was stupid and could not speak. And y'all couldn't hold a conversation together because you spoke so damn properly that nobody knew what you was talking about. I hate that kind of shit. I'm sorry that triggered me so much, but I just had to get that off my chest. Back to Monique. So I think that we learned about Monique that she feels like a loner. She feels like an outsider. And anytime that she comes into a new space, she feels like she has to prove herself and prove her worth and let people know, like, she is worthy of friendship and attention and affection or whatever. And I do think that did play out in the reason why I was initially, like, kind of turned off by her, because, okay, even with the situation where, mind you, the way that she handled Giselle, I definitely fucked with. Giselle was like, girl, you don't have a home? And we all know what that was code for. Very nice, nasty, trying to air her out if she didn't have a home, homeless on the street, some shit. She said, oh no, baby, I got 4. What are you talking about? But it did always seem like she was just so eager to prove herself to these women, and, coming in rapping and, like, girl, what are you doing? Calm down, So it does, something about Monique does come off like she has something to prove. And one of the things about Monique that has always made me not really care for her as a cast member is that she kind of rubs me as a church lady. Like, those church ladies, the women that you went to church with, the ones who put on this big ass hat in front for the pews and the mothers and the deacons and the girls at the church, but they got a whole life that they really living on the outside, and it's just like I'm a become this character when I'm in your presence, but I'm really somebody else. And towards the end of this video, I'm gonna let y'all know exactly who Monique revealed herself to be, And that girl is far more interesting because this whole like Christian lady bullshit that she be trying to pull, where she don't really curse like that and call bitches tricks and trollops and harlots and shit. Like, Monique, girl, you ain't fooling me, mama. I smelled your shit a long time ago, but the end of this episode really just proved to me who you are. But anyway, let's get back to the episode. So the next scene is where Ashley drops the bomb on Michael that his boyfriend is about to propose to his girlfriend. I said, what in the hell? The way that Michael took that news and immediately was in just denial that Juan would propose to the mother of his children and the woman that he has been in a relationship with since he was 16 and already had a previous marriage with. And how were you so convinced that Juan would not marry or propose to Robyn? Like, tell us what's tea, Michael. The gag is, we know. The gag is, we knew. We just need you to come on out and say it. Like, you 70-something years old, Michael. At this point, come out. Like, we not gonna like you we not gonna dislike you any more than we already do now. We absolutely, I think that there is, like, this show is very polarizing when it comes to the cast. I think that we all have our favorites, and it is very split down the middle right now. You are either on Team Candiace or you on Team Monique. But I think that it is a universal feeling of hatred towards you. Like, we could probably almost stomach Ashley if you were not in the picture, embarrassing her every season and her always standing up defending your stupid dumb ass and your bullshit. I don't give a fuck about, listen, one thing about me, you're not about to catch me embarrassing myself for nobody. And maybe that's why I will die alone, child. I don't know. But you will just, like, it will be a chilly day in hell before y'all catch me looking stupid in front of the world for everybody. And at the end of the day, I respect Ashley because I know why she's doing it. It is for that check. And for the check, you don't get no complaints from me. But it's just, ooh, girl, at this point, you have baby number 1 and 2. You have child support for the next 18 years of your life. You have already met the minimum requirements of your prenuptial agreement. You need to go ahead and divorce that nigga because he keeps embarrassing you and you keep putting on this front to the world like you are not embarrassed. It's just weird to me. But if you like it that your man like boys, have at it, honey. And if y'all like them together, that's fine too. If y'all be out there doing something with Juan, bitch, let me know because that's another story for another day, okay? But next. Okay, so Juan and Robyn goes to therapy. Juan and Robyn's therapy session, to me, let me know that these niggas needed to be in therapy a long time ago, and they needed to have a couple of breakthroughs before either one of them decided to step back down the aisle. Because to me, you two do not know how to communicate with one another. When the therapy session started, Juan, first of all, his body language was uncomfortable. His face was uncomfortable. This nigga looked like he smelled a fart. He was just over the entire experience. And as soon as Robyn started opening up, he barking at her like, oh, you really about to do this type shit. And I'm like, y'all are at therapy. What is she supposed to be doing? Like, so she opens up and says something about like he wasn't necessarily present while she was raising their 2 boys in the beginning, and he took offense to that and immediately was just like, don't sit here and act like our marriage was and I don't know if that was just editing, but that was a weird response to her because it had nothing to do with your marriage. She was just talking about the raising of the boys, you know? So I don't know. Like, and she was just mentioning how it was a lot of stress on her because she was doing everything on her own. And at the time, I don't know if he was playing basketball at the time. I really don't know. But I mean, if he was playing basketball at the time, I don't understand why it was so hard for you to raise children on your own, because I'm almost certain you might have had a nanny or parents or something like that. And I get it that you want the support of your spouse there too, but he's also bringing in the money for you to live the lifestyle that you're living and to afford nannies and anything that you need. So I don't know. But maybe they had already gone through their financial troubles by the time they decided to have children, which in that case, I don't know why y'all would decide to have kids anyway, but that ain't none of my business. Judge y'all on what y'all be doing. You know, that's y'all. And it was really actually disappointing to see Juan react like that. I think, you know, another universal feeling that the audiences of this show has is we all love Juan, and we all actually like Juan and Robyn together. So just to see Juan act like that during the therapy session was just very disheartening. And I do think that once he did start to open up, Robyn began to cry, which kind of made him go back into his shell and just try to smooth everything all over. Like, as soon as she started to cry, like he talked about his infidelity, and then she teared up. And then he saw that and then felt like an immediate need to like protect her from whatever else that might have come out at that therapy session. And just was like, you know, but Robyn was always there. She was my rock. Da, 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 da. And it immediately just became this very surface level conversation again, where they're like, I'm just really proud of him. I'm just really proud of her. I'm thankful for her. I'm proud of him. I'm da, 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 da. And it's just like, I want both of y'all to get to a place to where y'all can really go there, get deep with each other and talk about things. Y'all have been together for like years. I don't understand why it is so difficult for y'all to talk to each other for real. So yeah, I think y'all need to stick with therapy. Do not leave therapy just because y'all getting married. Okay, the Christmas party. Ooh, child. Let me take a swig. Honestly, we're going to speedboat right through this beginning portion of the Christmas party because I don't really care. But congrats to Juan and Robyn. I'm happy that y'all got married, or y'all are now engaged and planning on getting married. Kudos to y'all. Candiace, your performance was cute. The little technical difficulties in the beginning, I swear somebody from production had to do that because they needed a little funny moment or some shit. Y'all know what y'all be doing. Karen, you, ma'am, are full of fucking shit. We are going to call it like we see it around this motherfucker. Now, I love Karen. She has easily become one of my favorite housewives of all time. But lady, ma'am, grandma, miss, girl, you are full of shit. And if you are not full of shit, you will have a horrible time explaining your stance and your position in things. And you have this air about you where you feel like you don't have to explain yourself to these bitches, which you don't. And you feel like, but it's only like when you get caught up with something. Like, there's this thing about Karen where she gets very defensive and dance around circles when she gets called out on her bullshit and when people are trying to get down to the bottom of something. And with this situation where her planning to have Monique. Now, first of all, if your initial plan was to have Monique at the party, but earlier than everybody else, you don't owe them that information. But when they ask you, is Monique coming to the party? And your response is no, mic drop. They have grounds to ask you, okay, well, you said this, but something else happened. Now, of course, nobody ran into each other there. Like, that's great by the grace of God, because literally 7 minutes after Monique left, Candiace was there, and Monique was only there for 10 minutes. You invited Monique to come at a specific time. Then you sent a group text message that included everybody and said, y'all come at this time. Then you call Candiace and tell Candiace to get there earlier than everybody else, but later than Monique would be there too, but within like minutes of each other. Monique gets there late, Candiace gets there late, but they're both supposed to arrive early. And I just don't understand. I don't understand how you thought that was a smart thing to do if your story is true. However, I do believe that you are full of shit. Now, what I feel like is maybe you wanted to, like, I don't know if the cast gets a heads up that this is going to be the finale episode or the pre-finale episode or whatever. But maybe you thought that you could facilitate a meeting between the two of them to where they could just sit down and talk. And, you know, maybe upon thinking about it, like, it was just like, nah, this ain't a good idea. I don't know. But it does seem like a setup. It just does. It just does. It does. Because your story just don't add up. Like, nobody else got the heads up to come earlier. Candiace did. And it just does not seem smart. And if anything, if you were not hiding anything, like, let's just say that your story is absolutely true. To cover, not even to cover your ass, but just to be responsible about the situation, you could have just given everybody the heads up and said, hey, I did invite Monique. She will be here earlier. And she's going to leave around this time. Y'all come. And by the time y'all get here, she is going to be gone. That to me seems like the smart thing to do. Again, it's not your responsibility. This is your party, and you can invite Monique wherever the fuck you want to invite Monique. And everybody else would have to just eat chalk and get the fuck over it. The way you went about it was just not smart. Now, Candiace. Okay. First of all, I understand Candiace's frustration with Karen and her being in the middle and her appearing to. So this is where I am with it. Karen is on Monique's side because Monique gave Candiace's testimony where Candiace says that she released the wine glass on Monique. And to Karen, that felt like two wrongs don't make a right type situation. And it was like the girl was being attacked. If I had a fucking butcher knife in my hand, Monique ass would have got hit with it. Like, you're not about to be yanking on me and slapping me upside the head and think I'm just about to be sitting here sipping on my Kool-Aid, girl. No, it's not about to happen. So I don't get Karen's excuse with that. Whatever. I think if her only explanation needed to be is that y'all are both my friends and it is hard for me to, and I am not going to isolate Monique out. I'm not going to ice her out because of this situation that y'all got in. I didn't get hit, bitch. You did. So at the end of the day, I want to support both of y'all. I'm not on your side and I'm not on her side. I wish it would have never happened. That is it. And up until Karen gave that bullshit excuse, I was on Karen's side about that. And I'm just like, yeah, that's the perfect position to be in. And I think that's the only explanation you need. And I think all of the other ladies should have been the exact same way. Maybe with the exception of Wendy because she came in on Candiace's coattails. So I don't know. So I understood Candiace's frustration with Karen at that moment because it's just been a lot of Candiace keeping her composure with Karen and not really letting her know how she felt. And at that moment, I think Candiace might have just had enough. However, Candiace, girl, you have to stop. You have to stop crying like that. You have to stop. I understand, and let me just say that I understand that some people are just mad emotional. And I'm saying this because I used to be that person. I used to be that person who was so easily triggered that the moment I felt uncomfortable, I would cry out of anger, frustration, sadness, remorse, whatever, whenever I'm talking about an uncomfortable feeling, I would cry while I was speaking. But I grew out of that, and I'm not saying that that comes with adulthood. I'm not saying that comes with growing up. But what I am saying is that when you are trying to effectively communicate your feelings, Candiace, it is hard for people to take you seriously if every single time you are crying and getting hysterical. And it's hard. It's just hard. It's hard for the viewers to watch, honestly. It's hard for me to watch, and I really do root for you. I really do like you and all of that shit. But it's hard for me as a viewer to just watch you sit there and cry at every drop of a dime. It's annoying as well. It just is, sister. It's annoying. So as Candiace is getting irate and yelling, as she said she wasn't gonna do, Michael's messy, nasty, creepy, ugly, disgusting bitch ass walks up on Chris and tells this man. Now, here's the thing. Michael and Chris do not like each other. Period, point blank, hard stop. They do not fuck with each other at all. Why would you think it appropriate for you in a drunken stupor to walk up to this man and tell him what to do with his wife? On what planet does that even sound smart? You don't like him, he don't like you. And you think going over here and telling him, hey, you need to go control your wife. You need to go control your wife. Look at here, kangaroo pouch, bitch ass nigga. Get the fuck on my face, ho. That's what would have happened to your ass had it been me. However, Chris said, what you need to do is get the fuck out of my face. And then you turn, and instead of getting the fuck out of this man's face, you say, shut the fuck up and listen to me. Now, you have already been a very condescending and entitled prick asshole to this man before. The way that you speak down to him, like you are superior to him, I know that was the straw that broke the camel's back. Now, you are absolutely lucky that Chris did not haul off and beat your motherfucking ass. Period. Because had it been my wife that you was talking to, baby. Michael, so Chris gets up, pushes him back out of his space, and immediately this bitch pulls every white woman card in America. Hands up! Oh, you're touching me! You're touching me! You're touching me! You're touching... White people, y'all are consistently the aggressor and the victim at the same time. I don't know how y'all get away with this shit for so long, but Jesus Christ. Like, it is funny how white people have gone... throughout this country, the entire world, actually, and have been barbaric, raping, killing, pillaging, and colonizing, and doing all of this bullshit. And then they get to America, do all this shit, and enslave black folk, and then somehow we are labeled aggressive, violent, thugs, barbaric, rapists, and super predators. Hey, Hillary Clinton, girl. And all of this bullshit. We are labeled all of those things when y'all literally have the entire history of, since the beginning of time, of doing this to people. It is just it. And then y'all get to put y'all hands up and cry victim. Oh, he's hitting me. And then your stupid dumb ass go over there and get Ashley riled up talking about, oh, he hit me, oh, he touched me, da 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 da. First of all, Ashley, you should have known that the nigga was lying right then and there, but he could not even admit to you like what actually happened. He said he hit me. You say who hit you, and then he said, well, he touched me. He pushed me. Ashley, you were looking for a reason as well to jump in some shit, and don't get me wrong, I understand standing up for your man, especially in a time of war when a bitch is trying it, and I don't even like this bitch nor her husband. I get just want to stand up for your man. But that shit literally bit you in the ass because after Candiace and Chris got out of there, Michael gets into it with production, being an entitled asshole with production and the security. And notice how a lot of those people were black. I don't care what anybody says. The nigga is racist. Ashley, you are a half black, quarter black ass girl. Child. But I guess that baby white is all get him up, so have at it. Ashley, I don't like you. That's period, point blank. I do not like Ashley. I do not like Michael. But I do feel sorry for Ashley because I just don't feel like she deserves half of the shit that Michael gives her. I don't. Ashley has been a fucking nuisance since the very beginning of her time on this show. And in the name of love, I guess, or in the name of a check. And then is when I just got, every time I remember that you are doing this for the check, I just be like, collect your coins, sis. You ain't getting no complaints from me. But anyway, that is the end of this episode. Glory be to God, and to hell with all of y'all, honestly. No, just playing. I can't wait to see what goes on this reunion. They already got clips going on my girl Candiace crying and shit. I'm just tired of this whole crying. Everybody. Because this is some crazy shit. But what I am curious to know is, like, how is this going to continue to go? Because all of the ladies cannot continue to ice Monique out and it still be like a show with Monique on it. That doesn't seem possible to me. So I guess we'll see next season, y'all. But that is the end of this review. And stick around. I'm going to do my Atlanta review right after this. It's 1:44 in the morning. But I'm going to go ahead and crank it out for y'all because I'm already late. So I will see you guys in a bit. Toodaloo.